between Transnet and its various capabilities and its equivalent in the Republic of Kenya. With those few words, because we have a premium on time, Your Excellency, let me invite you to say a few words, and then we will invite Mr. Mills to give you a quick overview of the facility you're visiting today. Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Minister Pravin, and ministers here present, and Chair of the Board, and members of Transnet. Let me begin by saying that I think Minister Pravin here has captured the mood as to why we're here. We have made this trip specifically with a view to see how we can strengthen the economic partnership between Kenya and South Africa. And this is something that I believe is very close to the heart of President Ramaphosa and his government, and equally the same with us. We are two countries that are large economies in their respective regions. And I do believe that by coming closer together, we are not only expanding Kenya and South African economic partnerships, but we're also expanding the partnership between the East African region and SADC in general. But the most important aspect of all of this is that in many instances that partnership is usually in terms of words and agreements and MOUs. But this time I believe we're trying to do something different. We're trying to say that a partnership must mean our ability to move goods and also services between our two countries, between our two regions. It should be easy enough for a small or medium enterprise based in Cape Town, Pretoria, or Johannesburg to be able to move its products seamlessly to Kenya. And vice versa, it should be easy enough for a company based in Mombasa, Nairobi, Kisumu, to move goods to markets in Southern Africa. But what is the impediment? The impediment is how to get those goods there, how to get them there easily in terms of speed, how to get them there at acceptable costs. That cannot happen if we do not deepen our linkages in terms of our air services, in terms of our seaways, in terms of our rail, in terms of our road networks. We need this interconnectivity to be able to facilitate that. And the only way, again, we can do that is by bringing the corporations that are responsible and charged with that mandate in our respective countries closer together to partner and to start developing these rail, road, sea, and air linkages. And yesterday we had the opportunity to witness the signing of an accord between South African Airways and Kenya Airways. And as I said when I was talking to the business community, we should never see these as competitors, but rather as collaborators, as partners, working together to facilitate business. Today we're here visiting Transnet to see how we can deepen their partnership with Kenya Railways and also with other railway systems and companies in our part of the world, so that we can share technical input, we can share engineering expertise, we can share how to link our respective rails together, how to manage our respective rail systems together. All this, again, aimed at trying to facilitate the movement of goods between our two countries. So, Minister, mine is to say that I'm keenly looking forward from yesterday's meetings where we declared political intent, where we declared business intent, to today when we are now looking at the practical side of that cooperation. And I'm very keen to listen to my well-suited man in front of me. I was told this morning that I should have comfortable shoes and comfortable wear, so excuse my jeans, but I was told that you're going to make me walk a lot. So let me be comfortable. You can be uncomfortable. You have the capacity to go and change when we're done. I don't. So thank you, and thank you once again for your welcome.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Without much further ado, let me ask Mr. Mills to briefly introduce Transnet Engineering. But in doing so, let me also say that Transnet is quite a unique state-owned entity in the sense it's vertically integrated. It has a ports division, a port terminal division, an important rail division, a pipeline division that transports fuel from the coast to the inland, and of course the engineering component that you are visiting today. So in the context that Mr. Mills will just take you through and our guests through a quick overview of Transnet Engineering. Mr. Mills.
Thank you, Minister. Your Excellency, I can assure you I'm much more comfortable in a pair of overalls than a suit. So next time I'll be sure to dress appropriately. Thank you. So welcome to Transnet Engineering, and to the Honourable Ministers, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ralph. I have the privilege of leading what must be one of the biggest heavy engineering organizations in South Africa and possibly on the continent. So I'm just going to take you through a quick safety briefing, and we have a few slides to show you today as well. The emphasis is not on telling you what we do, but to show you. So we will hit the floor and look at practical examples of our capabilities as well. So just in terms of the safety brief, as is our protocol in plants, in the event of a siren going off, the VIP protection teams will follow their protocols. For the rest of us, there's an assembly point out of the building to the right of the parking lot. There are safety coordinators who are present as well, who will assist in that process. We also have a fully equipped clinic on site and first aiders throughout the plant. If during the tour during the plant there's an emergency, we'll follow the protection protocol around that as well. And the safety coordinators in those areas will direct us to the assembly point. So quickly, in terms of who we are at Transnet Engineering, as the Minister said, we have 6 operating divisions, being Transnet Freight Rail, Transnet Engineering, Ports Authority, Port Terminals, Pipelines, and Property. And I think when I joined Transnet almost 2 years ago, what left a lasting impression on me is what we do is important for the country, because we touch every single aspect of our economy. In addition to these 6 operating divisions, we have a training academy, which I will talk about briefly as well. So in terms of Transnet Engineering ourselves, we're approximately 10,000 people in the engineering division. We have 6 plants, very similar to the one that you're visiting here throughout the country. And we have 145 maintenance depots spread throughout the country. So far in the 2 years I've been here, almost 2 years, I've managed to visit 84, so still quite a few to go. But we cover basically from research and design of rail stock and port equipment to manufacturing, assembly and maintenance, addressing coaches, locomotives, wagons, ports equipment, which we'll show you some examples of today as well. We have 2 foundries, one in Bloemfontein and one at this site, and we have a fabrication capability spread throughout the country. In terms of our ports equipment, we've recently designed and built our own port hauler. This was a significant technology shift for me, going from rail to vehicles, because they're obviously totally different in terms of the dynamics. But we're now in the position to supply South Africa with port haulers, which were previously all imported into the country. We also make a variety of trailers, skips, and containers and other loading equipment as well. Our sister organization, Transnet Freight Rail, has an extensive rail maintenance capability, not only maintaining rail, but actually laying and establishing rail networks. And they address issues such as track engineering, electrical engineering works, structural and chemical engineering works, signaling and telecoms engineering works. It's a one-stop shop for all of those aspects. In terms of our Africa strategy, I think our Africa strategy mimics what we're trying to do at our Transnet level. First of all, we are a commercial organization, first and foremost, although we're owned as a state-owned entity, so we're a business, and we think like a business. And then, secondly, an inclusive approach, where we look at partnering rather than trying to do things exclusively. So in terms of our African strategy at this stage, yes, we can compete with the Chinese and the Indians and the other countries in terms of rolling stock, but that's not our key objective. Our key objective is to establish long-term government-to-government relationships where we'll be looking at co-creating rail capability and freight moving capability. And from that, I speak of from education. We have universities that present degrees in rail operations in South Africa, right through to establishing operations, maintenance, and manufacturing of rolling stock. So here's just an example of some of the countries that we've been engaged with and have, in some instances, delivered equipment to already. We do have the AU Declaration of 2015, which we are pursuing, in terms of South Africa being a hub of rolling stock development for the continent. In terms of potential opportunities coming out of this visit, we identified manufacturing as being one area, maintenance and training. And in manufacturing, not only the manufacturing of new equipment, but I think very importantly, the refurbishment and re-engineering of equipment. And when we do our walk around today, I'll show you an engine that we still maintain today, a 40-year-old locomotive engine, which is still in service and still delivering for us. And we recently, as 2 weeks ago, started a new project where we looked at taking old locomotives, stripping the top deck off completely, using the existing mainframe and bogies to reduce the cost, and re-engineering that for a future life expansion program. Because I think we're all in the position that buying new capital equipment today is probably the last option that we have, because it's very expensive. In terms of maintenance, as I said, both ourselves and TFR have extensive maintenance capabilities, running, as I said, 145 depots around the country. But part of maintenance is not just the physical work on the locomotives and the rolling stock, but understanding the maintenance system and how to schedule locomotives and keep them running optimally throughout the network. And then obviously training, the Transnet Academy, that's something I'm particularly proud of. We have the capability within Transnet Engineering, the School of Engineering, to train 3,000 apprentices a year at the moment in 18 different artisans. I come from a family of artisans. I know what people can do with their hands, and I think we're short of those people in our economies today. And so currently we're running about 600 students a year through the academy, which means we have quite an excess capacity that we need to start utilizing. So basically that's a quick introduction. We're going to go out. We're going to go out to a static display outside where I'm going to show you some of the examples of the rolling stock. And then we selected 3 of the manufacturing bays to show you different aspects of manufacturing. First of all, from raw steel plate, cutting out with laser cutters, and how that eventually becomes a locomotive. We take you to the engine shop because I think that's an important aspect, being able to take that 40-year-old engine, refurbish and maintain it and keep it running. And then lastly, the electronic traction motor workshop, where we'll show you how we take traction motors off locomotives, and when they come out the other side, they look like they're brand new. And please feel free, I will be driving the vehicle with you to ask any questions during that. I don't know if there's any preliminary questions or statements.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mills. If you can tell us what to do with the things in front of us. That'll be
Certainly.
helpful.
So we have a set of headsets which we'll be using during the walkabout so that you can hear above the factory noise. It is obviously an operational factory. And then there's reflective vests. This is a shunting yard, so just to make sure that you're visible to everybody moving around. Thank you. What we're going to do now is I'll come to the back, meet you there, and then I'll take you out to the static display. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank Mr. Mills on behalf of the President and my colleagues. If those that are not involved in the walk through the facilities, if you could remain in this room until we've left, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.